Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, July 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, OPEN. This has been the one that has been followed, I think, probably the most in the markets now for going on a week, but overall, the chart is hanging in there, and this will mean a little bit more if you watched yesterday's top 10. But if you did watch that video, I talked about an important area from the big picture standpoint, because right off the get-go, if you're a day trader, scalper, flipper, you bought right there, you bought right there. Even if you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes, from that standpoint, yeah, the chart's not looking good at all. But assuming you care about the bigger picture, what I talked about in yesterday's video, which is completely relevant to today, is that purple line there, that 50-period moving average, where even if you have just a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of that level, and you know that when the price is up above it, from a bullish standpoint, you want to see the price stay above it. So talk about that, and why don't you know it today? Check this out. A couple times, I mean, they're right off it, right there, very close. But in that regard, so far, so good. The price continues to respect that 50-period moving average. Therefore, you can still make a valid claim that from a bigger picture standpoint, the bulls are still in control. I understand that statement makes zero sense if you're a day trader that bought right there. No, the bulls are not in control for you. But again, that's why I'm trying to parse that out and differentiate between a bigger picture and someone that's caring about more so a day trading standpoint. So far, so good. The price continues to hold above that purple line, and that is indeed what you want to see happen moving forward. If the price does go down through there, let's change this here to green for support. Then the next key area of support to keep a close eye on would be down there right around $2.30. From the resistance side of things, in the near term, key battleground to watch closely right there around $3.50. But in my opinion, at least, most important dynamic right now is working on just building that higher base, because as long as the higher base is built, then you can still make the argument the overall uptrend is still plenty, in the bears or bulls' favor, because you have these higher lows, happening over time. So we'll see what happens with it, but so far so good in regards to honoring that 50-period moving average. Next one, DFLI, penny stock today with a whole lot of volume and now a good solid pattern here that I'm thinking a lot of people will be watching, and I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So there's the top part of the pattern right there. Here we are looking at the bottom part of it. And then just to make sure that everybody can see it, let's keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the big move up right there. And this would be called a bull flag pattern. Not just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure, guaranteed, without doubt, this thing's going to, consolidate out here and then eventually get the break upwards. Now, is it valid? Is it plausible to suggest that something like this could happen? Absolutely. But again, it's not guaranteed to happen. So no guarantees, but certainly a valid question to throw out there as a possibility. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull flag patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one, BBAI, and the bleeding continues. Not a good move here as it broke down through that pink line right there at the beginning part of the day. And then you can see the price really struggled to get up through there. However, with all that being said, as I speak right now, you can see the price as we zoom in closer is currently back above that pink line. So that'll be the big question mark in my mind, and I think a lot of people's mind for Wednesday is the price not only going to be able to stay above that pink line, but maybe get a little bit more separation up through there. And if it does, again, there's still more work that needs to be done, but that would be a good step in the right direction of stabilizing out, because at one point the price had broken below the pink line and was all the way down there, which is not a sign of stabilization. But with the bounce back upwards, it has begun to stabilize, but again, more work that needs to be done. And the next kind of phase of this quote-unquote work, I would argue, again, is not only staying above that pink line, but getting a little bit more separation up through there. If this price does roll back over, in fact, I'm going to just get rid of that level for now. But if the price does roll back over, then a key area of support, then keep an eye on, nothing fancy here, would just be where the bleeding stopped today. And that was right down there around $6.90. But yes, to be fair, the price is technically now back above that pink line. So let's see if the price can continue to make more progress in the upwards direction. Next one here, PLRZ, and we have ourselves another solid pattern here. So I'm going to do this a little quicker because you've just heard me talk about the patterns and all that. Now this one is a little bit different. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. And then just map it all out to make sure we can all see it. So we have our resistance, support, Nice move up right here. Let me just bring this over to make it a little bit. There we go. And then for you golfers out there, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So same general idea, just because it's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. But is it valid to throw out the question of that being a legitimate possibility? Absolutely. So sure, we had a bull flag. We have a bull pennant. They're essentially the same thing, a little bit differences. But at the end of the day, the psychology is the same. That psychology being big move up, now consolidating. Now will the consolidation get the break to the upside? So if you like bull pennants, you like stocks down around the $2 mark, here you go. Next one here, SOXS, and I'm going through this one very quickly. As I mentioned earlier, I want to respect your time as much as possible, and you literally just heard me talk about this. So like I said, with that in mind, let me just draw it into place. And so there's our resistance. Let me make it a little bit more proportionate. There we go. And then, whoops. And I'll say this a million more times because I cannot help myself, but gotta map out it all. Make sure people see it. Resistance, support, nice move up right here. Golf hole down here, another good quality bull pennant pattern. So yes, moving forward, does the price get the bounce up through here? Can this breakout create more momentum? Grab your popcorn and we'll see what happens. Real quick, I want to take a break and potentially help you solve a problem that you have, and that is the desire to be able to day trade as much as you want, make as many day trades as you want every single day, but because of that pattern day trade rule, you're just refrained from doing so. Well, if you are in that situation, but you would like to be a day trader and trade a market that's open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, then definitely check out the link that's at the top of the screen. It's also down in the description area, and you can see a way that it's what I've been doing, and you know what is very, very it's a good situation. You know, I don't want to hype it up too much, but just I think help out a lot of people because I remember when I got started, that pattern day trade rule was so annoying. But in this situation, you can be able to make as many day trades as you want every day. It's what I'm doing. I put my money where my mouth is with it. And on that note, if you're still a little skeptical and you want to see it in action, then I've been live streaming at 11 a.m. Eastern. Usually I go for a few hours. So make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so that you can be made aware of when I am live streaming, or just try to show up on the channel at 11 a.m. Eastern time and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about here in action. But at the core, no pattern day trade rule. You can get yourself $50,000 in purchasing power for $102. You just got to use code CLAY for that. So check out the links and let me know if you have any questions. Next one here, NVDA. I've been tracking this very closely, and I state the obvious, but that opening 30 minutes was just not good at all, and a lot of updates here need to be made. So going into the day, we had this big old sideways channel, but you can see this, this wedge here that I've drawn yesterday. It did break down through. That really opened up the downwards gates. So let's just do some house cleaning. Yes, these levels still pertain, but from the presentation standpoint, I don't want to have lines everywhere you look, so let's try to keep this as clean as possible. But the first update that needs to be made comes about based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So to be fair, a nice bounce from where the price was at its lows to where it's battled up to. Good, solid stuff. But really the first big battleground that you'll need to keep a close eye on, not necessarily on Wednesday, but just over the next few days, is going to be that 169.10 mark. And, if the price can break above there, again, still more work needs to be done, but that would certainly be a good, solid step in the right direction. And as of right now, as I'm talking, I can see, this starting to drift back down. If there is more of a quote-unquote drift downwards, then I'm not going to call it a do-or-die level, but certainly a very important technical level. If this does roll all the way back over, will be that pink line right there, which on my charts denote in that 200 period moving average, currently valid at, let's just call it 164.50. But as of now, like I said, got to give credit where credit's due. From the lows to where it is right now, good solid bounce. Can this bounce continue to get back above the 169.10 mark? We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Next one, NIO, quite the overall uptrend. So let me just provide some context there. You can see this thing has been beautifully moving upwards. And we have ourselves another nice pattern, which one I've already talked about. So we'll go through it quicker. So there's our area of resistance. Maybe you're already calling it out. Good job. You're learning. That's fantastic. There's our area of support. And then, again, just to make sure everybody sees it, resistance, support, nice move up, golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So a bull pennant pattern happening in an overall uptrend still doesn't guarantee that the price is going to go higher, but I don't think anybody would call you crazy for thinking that a bull pennant in an overall uptrend could lead to the price going higher. But again, that's not guaranteed, but that is a more than plausible scenario. So keep an eye on it if you like this price range. Next one, WLGS, and sometimes this is just how the market is. You have a whole lot of the same type of pattern, and like I mentioned earlier, in the spirit of just making sure I do my best to respect your time as much as possible, going through this very quickly because you've heard me talk about it now about 3,000 times. But like I said, a good variety for everybody. So resistance, support, Big move up. Golf hole down here. Another bull pennant pattern. This is happening on not only a penny stock, but a penny stock that's down below 10 cents. I know earlier we were talking about a penny stock, but that was closer to $1. So this one is definitely more of a penny stock in the sense of very, quite a bit close to literally a penny. But all in all, good volume today. Nice pattern. So if you like these circumstances, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here is QS. Talked about this one a couple days ago. Talked about this rising wedge pattern and how that does signal a potential bearish move. And that is what played out here on Monday with the gap down. And then today went even lower. With all that being said, though, the rising wedge has played out. And with the lower lows, what I mean by that is you had that low, then you had this lower low, and then you had this even lower low. Well, then after that, very, very impressive day today. It hasn't reached back up to those highs, but wow, when you just stop and go through the history and consider that at one point today, the price was literally all the way down here and has now managed to bounce all the way back up there. You got to give credit's due. Very impressive move. So moving forward, it'll be interesting to see if the price can now stay back above that purple line there, which I've talked about on several other charts. So you now know from an overarching standpoint, which, you can see here, it was doing an absolutely beautiful job, including right there when the price bounced very, very nicely right off that level. So a little bit of a hiccup here with the price, dropping down below there as we just went over. But as of now, with a very strong move today, the price is back above that purple line. So preferably speaking, you want to see the price continue to stay above there. In terms of areas of resistance, initial key level to watch right there at $14.10. And then next key level after that, right up there around the $15 mark. So keep an eye on those next couple of battlegrounds. But like I said, when you stop and think about the fact that at one point the price was all the way down there, now it's all the way back up there. Let's see if that momentum carries into Wednesday. Next, there's a little blooper there. That was looking at AT&T, just T. But I want to be looking here at Tesla, TSLA, not just T. So Tesla here, good solid day. Managed to stay above this area of support down there, so I'll get rid of that. But most importantly, has been able to finally get up above this 331 mark. A lot of fake breaks earlier on in the day, but then late day, the price did make seemingly a good solid surge. Got up above it. Yes, as of right now, there has been a little bit of a pullback here, but the pullback is still up above that 331 mark, which is good to see, and why that moving forward, when levels of resistance are broken, you want to see them act as support. Staying above 331 would by far make this now look like the healthiest chart moving forward. Now, if the price falls below it, doesn't mean the chart's ruined, but at that point, you would like to see it stay above that purple line. But even if the price were not able to hold above the purple line, I mean, from the big picture, you would still see that overall, the trend is still very much so in the upwards direction. So best case scenario, staying above 331 or the 50-period moving average. The only point where I would start to question things like, maybe the bears are starting to take back over is if somehow the price worked its way back down the pink line there. But at this point, given the price is way up here, that's that'd take quite a bit to get the price all the way back down there. In terms of areas of resistance, really the next two battlegrounds are just where the party stopped this afternoon right there at 335.25, and then just the high from over here, which is where the party stopped a couple days ago right there around the 338 mark. But all in all, very, very nice day, especially when, again, you consider at one point not that long ago the price was down here, and now it's worked its way all the way back up. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, make sure you hit that like button. And once again, if there are any questions on the solution to becoming a pattern day trader, just becoming a day trader, not having to deal with the pattern day trader rule, then this would be a solution for that. I know, I can use the cash count. Yeah, but with the cash count, you still can only trade as much as you have cash for. But this solution here allows you to literally have unlimited day trades every single day. And to be quite frank, the market that you're trading moves better than small caps, penny stocks. It's just a very fast market, and there's lots of other cool things that can go on. But again, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm doing it. So if you want to see what I'm talking about here in action, then yeah, I've been live streaming at 11 a.m. Eastern. So be sure to check out, swing by over the lunch hour, sometime over the afternoon, and you'll be able to see exactly what I mean. And ask questions to me in person, not in person, but ask questions to me live if needed. So thanks for your consideration. Like I said, hopefully it can be a solution to you if you are suffering under that pattern day trading rule. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Take care and have a good one.